The streets are quiet, but online, a storm brews in China. Young people, once praised for their hard work, are now using their voices to reject the path chosen for them. Their rebellion does not march in the open, yet its impact is felt in every corner of society. The government is watching nervously as a new form of protest grows larger each day. This movement is unlike the protests of the past. There are no banners or crowded squares. Instead, it is a silent, stubborn refusal to keep playing a game where the rules feel unfair. Young Chinese are not demanding big changes in public. Instead, they simply choose to step back, do less, and let things break, rather than fix them. Many in leadership fear this quiet revolt. They know the country's future depends on the energy and ideas of its youth. But today, young people are saying enough. Their silent protest is a warning, and it is spreading fast. The world is watching too. China is often seen as a place of hard work and big dreams, but something important is shifting beneath the surface. This is the story of a new rebellion in China, one that threatens to change the country forever. The movement is called Ban, which means let it rot. Young people use this phrase to show they will no longer try to fix things they believe are broken. Instead, they accept failure as a way to push back against endless pressure. It is not laziness. It is a way of saying they are tired of working so hard for so little reward. For years, the Chinese government told the nation to work hard and stay positive. Now, the let it rot attitude is a quiet refusal to keep chasing impossible dreams. Young people share jokes and memes online, showing their choice to do the bare minimum at work or in school. This is their way to survive and protect their mental health. Leaders are worried. The Communist Party relies on a strong, hopeful youth to fuel China's rise. When young people stop caring, it threatens more than just their own futures. It could slow down the whole country. The government tries to block these ideas online, but the message keeps spreading. The Let It Rot rebellion is not about violence or breaking laws. It is about choosing to care less when life feels unfair. This quiet protest is changing how millions of young Chinese see themselves and their country. The roots of this rebellion start in China's schools. For decades, students faced intense pressure to succeed. The Gaokao, China's national exam, decides who gets into the best universities. Many students spend years studying for long hours, often with little time for fun or rest. Parents, teachers, and society expect only the best results. But even after years of hard work, a good education does not always lead to a good job. In recent years, the Chinese government has cracked down on private education companies, closing many tutoring schools. This has made it harder for young people to get ahead and left thousands of teachers without work. After graduation, the problems do not end. Many jobs require overtime and offer little pay. The 996 culture, working from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week, has become common in some industries. Young workers feel trapped. They work hard, but still cannot afford to buy a house or start a family. These disappointments build up over time. Young Chinese see that hard work does not always mean success. Many now choose not to fight so hard. This is how the Let It Rot movement began. Xiaoli, a 26-year-old from Wuhan, spent years preparing for her exams. She studied 10 hours a day and often stayed up late to finish homework. After graduating, she could only find a job as a sales assistant with low pay and long hours. "I did everything right," she says. But nothing changed. Wang Jun, once proud to join a big tech firm, soon found himself working overtime every night. He was told to be grateful for the opportunity. Now, he does just enough to keep his job. "Why should I give more if it doesn't help me?" he asks. Liu Mei, a recent college graduate, moved back in with her parents. She sent out over 100 job applications but got only a few interviews. "It's not that I don't want to work," she explains. "There just aren't enough good jobs." Their stories echo across China. For every headline about success, there are thousands more about dreams put on hold. These young people are not lazy. They are frustrated. Their choice to let it rot is a response to a system that no longer works for them. The Let It Rot movement has, well, some pretty big effects on China's economy. Youth unemployment is at record highs. In some cities, more than 1 in 5 young people just can't find a job. A lot of businesses are struggling to attract eager workers. The energy that once drove China's growth is honestly starting to fade. When young people feel hopeless, they tend to spend less money, which ends up hurting the economy even more. Without strong consumer confidence, businesses invest less and, hire fewer workers. It's a cycle that's really hard to break. The government's goal to build a strong middle class gets tougher to reach every year. Older generations are worried about the future. They remember a time when every year brought more jobs and higher pay. But now a lot of young people just don't believe that's possible anymore. Instead, they're focusing on survival, not success. If this trend keeps going, China might face slower growth and more inequality. The energy and hope of its young people are just so important for a healthy economy. Losing them is a risk the country really can't afford to ignore. China's population is getting older. For many years, families could only have one child. Now, there are just not enough young people to replace those who are retiring. The birth rate is falling, and the number of elderly is rising fast. This demographic problem makes the Let It Rot movement even more dangerous. Fewer young people means fewer workers, less innovation, and a smaller group to care for the elderly. The pressure on the youth who remain is even greater. They are expected to work harder, support their families, and help the whole country. But if young people are giving up, the problem grows worse. Some experts call this a demographic time bomb. Without enough energetic, hopeful youth, the whole system could slow down or even break. The government knows this is serious. They have tried to encourage families to have more children, but the results are honestly pretty slow. Changing a whole generation's attitude is much harder than changing a law. China is not alone in facing these problems. Japan and South Korea have also seen young people lose hope for the future. In Japan, the term hikikomori describes those who withdraw from society, staying at home for months or years. South Korea's youth talk about the heljoseon, the tough life under high social pressure. Both countries show what can happen when young people feel trapped. Jobs are hard to find and the cost of living is high. Many decide not to marry or have children. As a result, populations shrink and economies slow down. China's leaders have watched these trends and tried to avoid the same fate. But now, the Let It Rot movement shows the same warning signs. Young Chinese see that working hard might not bring a better life. They question whether the old promises still make sense. Learning from Japan and South Korea, China faces a choice. Ignoring these problems only makes them worse. Real solutions require listening to the real needs of young people. The Chinese government has tried to fix the crisis. They ended the one-child policy and now even encourage families to have 3 children. They offer money for new parents and try to make housing cheaper for young couples. In schools, leaders ask teachers to reduce pressure and make life more balanced. But these steps may not be enough. Many young people do not trust that the future will improve. Wages are still low, and good jobs are rare. High housing prices and long work hours remain. Some say the government's solutions are too late or too small to make a real difference. Even with new policies, it is hard to change how people feel. Trust takes time to build. Without real hope, many young people will keep choosing to let it rot. Leaders need to listen more and punish less if they want to win back the next generation. China's leaders face a hard challenge. They need the energy of young people to keep the country strong. But first, they must prove that hard work still leads to a better life. The Let It Rot rebellion is more than a trend. It is a warning sign for China's future. If the country cannot inspire its young people, it risks falling behind. The energy, hope, and ideas of youth are the drivers of every strong nation. As China faces big economic and population problems, it needs young people more than ever. But today, many are stepping back instead of stepping forward. Their quiet protest calls for real change, not just new rules or slogans. The world is watching how China answers this challenge. The Let It Rot movement shows that tomorrow's leaders want more than just orders. They want respect, fair chances, and reasons to believe in the future. What happens next will decide China's path for years to come. The voices of its youth cannot be ignored. Their rebellion is a silent call for a better, fairer society, for themselves and for the country they love.